Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." The way you perceive yourself shapes how the world responds to you. Many men walk through life unaware of how attractive they really are. They assume that unless women explicitly tell them they're handsome, they must be average at best. But attraction doesn't always come in the form of direct compliments. It's in the subtle signals, the way people react to your presence, the way women position themselves around you. Stoics mastered the art of self-awareness, of understanding the world as it is rather than how they think it should be. If you've ever questioned whether women see you as good-looking, pay close attention. The signs are always there, you just have to know how to read them. Watch until the end, because you might realize that you're more attractive than you ever imagined. And if this video resonates with you, like, subscribe, and share your experiences in the comments below. Chapter 1. Girls look up as you walk by. There's something deeply primal about the way attraction works. It bypasses logic, operating on instinct before thought ever enters the equation. When a man who is physically appealing walks by, a woman's body reacts before her mind even processes it. Her eyes flick up. Her head turns. Her posture subtly shifts. This isn't something she plans, it's an unconscious response, an automatic reaction to a presence that draws her attention. This moment is powerful because it's raw, unfiltered attraction. Women may pride themselves on being subtle when it comes to expressing interest, but their bodies often betray them. If you've ever noticed that women consistently glance up at you when you walk past, you're witnessing attraction at its most instinctive level. Some will try to play it off, quickly looking away as if nothing happened. Others will hold the gaze just a second longer than necessary, waiting to see if you acknowledge their interest. And then there are those who, without realizing it, adjust their posture, standing taller, smoothing their hair, or positioning themselves so they remain in your line of sight. This is where many men make a mistake. They assume that because a woman looks away quickly, she isn't interested. But that's not always the case. Sometimes, looking away is a defense mechanism, a way to mask attraction and avoid being too obvious. Other times, it's an unconscious test. She's giving you a fleeting moment of eye contact to see if you notice, if you react, if you're aware of the energy in the room. The key is repetition. If this happens often, it's not a coincidence. A truly attractive man doesn't need to seek validation from these glances. He doesn't crave confirmation that he is desirable. He simply observes. A Stoic man walks with presence, aware of his surroundings without being controlled by them. When he notices a woman looking up as he walks by, he doesn't flinch or second-guess himself. He understands that attraction is happening whether he acts on it or not. And here's the deeper reality: women often communicate through signals rather than direct words. Unlike men, who might openly declare their interest, women tend to express attraction in subtle, almost imperceptible ways. A glance, a shift in body language, a lingering gaze before quickly looking away. These micro-expressions speak volumes, but most men never learn how to read them. Have you ever walked through a crowded place and felt eyes on you, only to turn and see someone quickly looking away? That's not an accident. If it happens often, it's a sign that you naturally command attention. Good-looking men develop an energy about them, an unspoken presence that makes them stand out. This presence isn't just about facial symmetry or muscle definition, it's about confidence, self-assurance, and the way you carry yourself. The mistake many men make is assuming that a woman needs to hold eye contact for several seconds for it to mean something. In reality, the most telling signs of attraction happen in an instant: a quick glance, a flicker of interest, a subconscious reaction. If a woman looks up when you walk by, it means she noticed you. And if she noticed you, there's already a spark of attraction, whether she acts on it or not. The Stoic approach is to acknowledge this without becoming fixated on it. A Stoic man moves through life with the understanding that attraction is part of human nature. He does not base his self-worth on whether or not women notice him, nor does he seek external validation to confirm his attractiveness. He simply recognizes the reality of the situation. If women consistently glance up as he walks by, he knows it's not a coincidence. He knows that attraction, once sparked, can lead to opportunity, but he never chases. He allows things to unfold naturally, with confidence and patience. Women are drawn to men who exude certainty. They're attracted to men who don't need to seek approval, but instead move through life with quiet assurance. When a woman looks up at you as you walk by, it's not just about physical attraction, it's about presence. The way you walk, the way you carry yourself, the way you own the space around you. That's what truly captivates them. So the next time you notice women looking up as you pass, don't overanalyze it. Don't let it inflate your ego, but also don't dismiss it. Simply recognize it for what it is, an unspoken acknowledgement of attraction. And in that moment, you have the choice to engage, to hold the gaze for a second longer, or to simply keep moving, knowing that the world notices a man who carries himself with quiet, unshakable confidence. Chapter 2. You don't get many compliments. It sounds counterintuitive, but if you rarely receive compliments, it could actually be a sign that you're highly attractive. Most people assume that a good-looking man already knows he's attractive, so they don't feel the need to remind him. Instead of constantly praising you, they might just admire you from a distance, assuming that you're already aware of your appeal. Think about it. When was the last time you saw a stunning woman and actually told her she was beautiful? Most men don't do it. Why? Because they assume she hears it all the time. They assume she doesn't need to be reminded, that their words would be just another drop in an ocean of admiration. The same principle applies to you. If women already perceive you as attractive, they might hold back on giving you direct praise, fearing that they'll come across as just another admirer or, worse, someone trying too hard to get your attention. There's also another reason why women avoid complimenting highly attractive men: social dynamics. Women are aware of the way attraction works. They know that good-looking men have options, and they don't want to be just another person boosting your ego. They don't want to seem desperate or too obvious in their attraction. So instead of openly saying, "You're really handsome," they might show their interest in more subtle ways, through their body language, the way they act around you, or how much attention they give you. Have you ever been in a situation where women engage with you, laugh at your jokes, or stick around in conversations, but never actually say anything about your looks? That's not an accident. That's restraint. They're making their interest known in ways that don't put them in a vulnerable position. Complimenting a man directly, especially one they see as highly attractive, is risky for them. It exposes their interest and can make them feel like they're giving away too much too soon. But here's the catch: just because they don't say it doesn't mean they're not thinking it. Silence often speaks louder than words. If you notice that people treat you differently, that women engage with you in ways that suggest admiration but avoid outright compliments, that's a clear sign of attraction. They might show it through their actions instead: lingering eye contact, positioning themselves close to you, playfully teasing you, or even mirroring your body language. These are all subconscious signals that they see you as desirable. A Stoic man doesn't seek external validation. He doesn't need constant reassurance about his worth. He understands that attraction isn't always verbalized, that sometimes the most telling signs are the ones left unsaid. Instead of fishing for compliments or wondering why people don't praise his looks, he simply observes how others behave around him. If women act differently around you, if they engage but avoid giving direct praise, it's likely because they already see you as attractive. Instead of questioning why people don't compliment you often, recognize what's really happening. They assume you already know. They believe you don't need the extra validation, which is, in itself, a confirmation of your attractiveness. So, the next time you catch yourself wondering why you don't get many compliments, shift your perspective. Watch how people act around you instead. Sometimes, silence is the loudest compliment of all. Chapter 3. Girls are shocked if you have physical insecurities. At some point, you might casually mention something about your appearance that you're not completely satisfied with. Maybe you think your nose is too big, your hair isn't perfect, or your jawline could be sharper. It's a passing comment, something you've thought about before, but when you say it out loud in front of a woman, her reaction surprises you. She looks at you with disbelief, even amusement, as if you just said the most ridiculous thing in the world. That's because, in her eyes, your self-criticism makes no sense. She can't believe you don't see yourself the way she does. To her, you're already attractive, so hearing you doubt your looks is almost baffling. Women tend to idolize the men they find good-looking. When they've mentally placed you in the category of highly attractive, any insecurity you have contradicts the image they've built of you. That's why they react with surprise or even frustration when you express self-doubt. This kind of reaction isn't just about attraction, it's about perception. When someone you're drawn to criticizes themselves, it disrupts the illusion you've built about them. Imagine a beautiful woman saying she hates her smile or thinks her body isn't appealing. You'd be confused because, in your eyes, she looks amazing. That's exactly how women feel when a man they find attractive doubts himself. But here's where the Stoic perspective comes into play. A Stoic man doesn't let external validation, or the lack of it, define his self-worth. He doesn't seek compliments or fish for reassurance. He acknowledges his strengths and weaknesses, but he doesn't dwell on them. He understands that attractiveness is largely about perception, confidence, and how you carry yourself. Women are incredibly perceptive. They pick up on energy, the way you hold yourself, and whether you seem comfortable in your own skin. A man who is genuinely attractive but constantly puts himself down signals weakness. And weakness, especially in the form of self-doubt, is a turn-off. On the other hand, a man who might not even have conventionally perfect features but exudes confidence will always stand out. This is why some men who aren't classically handsome still attract women effortlessly. They don't see their minor flaws as a problem, so women don't either. Confidence overrides aesthetics. It's not about having perfect features, it's about owning what you have without seeking external approval. A Stoic man also understands that attraction isn't just about physical looks. It's about the total package, how you move, how you speak, the energy you bring into a room. A good-looking man who constantly second-guesses himself becomes less attractive in the long run. A man who might have imperfections but carries himself with certainty becomes magnetic. So, what should you take away from this? If women consistently react with disbelief when you voice concerns about your looks, take that as a clue. Your attractiveness is already established in their eyes. They already see you as desirable, which is why your insecurity seems absurd to them. Instead of doubting yourself, shift your perspective. Recognize that confidence is the foundation of attraction. Next time a woman reacts with shock when you mention an insecurity, pay attention. That's not just a sign that you're good-looking, it's a sign that you need to start seeing yourself the way they do. A man who understands his own value doesn't waste time dwelling on perceived flaws. He moves forward with confidence, knowing that his perception of himself shapes how the world perceives him in return. Chapter 4. Girls follow you on nights out. Social settings reveal attraction in ways that words never could. When you're out at bars, clubs, or social events, pay close attention to the people around you, especially the women. If you notice that certain women seem to be appearing near you repeatedly, lingering around your space, or subtly positioning themselves within your line of sight, it's not by chance. This behavior is intentional. Women don't follow just any man around the room. If they are finding reasons to be in your presence, walking past you more than once, or even ending up next to you in a crowd, it's a calculated move. Whether consciously or subconsciously, they are drawn to you and are hoping you'll notice. The goal isn't always to initiate a direct conversation. Sometimes, they just want to be close enough for you to make the first move. One of the most obvious ways women do this is by lingering around your group. She might start talking to one of your friends, positioning herself so that you're within earshot. She might pretend to be interested in the conversation happening nearby but keeps glancing in your direction. Or she might casually place herself near the bar or dance floor, conveniently within your line of sight. All of these are subtle cues that she's interested. And then there's the repeated, coincidental crossing of paths. If a woman happens to walk past you once, it could be random. Twice, it might still be chance. But when it happens multiple times throughout the night, it's no accident. She's creating opportunities for you to notice her. If you're observant, you'll pick up on these patterns, and you'll realize that attraction is often unspoken before it's ever verbalized. Women also use their friends as a way to get closer to you. If a group of women suddenly start socializing near your table, if they keep making eye contact and giggling among themselves, or if one of them randomly interacts with someone in your group, it's often a strategic move. Women rarely act alone in these situations, they move as a unit. If one of them is interested in you, her friends will encourage her to stay within your orbit, waiting for you to make a move. What many men don't realize is that women will also test how much attention you're paying to them. If a woman positions herself near you and you don't react, meaning you don't look over, engage, or acknowledge her presence, she may try again. She might walk by a second or third time, laughing a little louder, adjusting her posture to be more noticeable, or subtly angling her body toward you. She's gauging your level of interest. And if you remain completely oblivious, she might eventually assume you're not interested and move on. A Stoic man, however, is never oblivious. He sees patterns for what they are. He doesn't mistake women following him around as meaningless coincidence. He understands that attraction often plays out in silent, indirect ways. The key difference is that he doesn't act desperate for attention. He doesn't immediately rush to talk to every woman who lingers near him. Instead, he remains composed, reading the situation with clarity before making his move. A strong sign of attraction is when a woman keeps finding ways to stay in your proximity without ever making the first move. She wants to be noticed, but she won't do all the work. This is where most men fail. They expect women to outright say, "I like you," instead of recognizing the more subtle ways they communicate interest. If a woman keeps hovering around your space, if she follows your movements throughout the night, if she interacts with your group but seems especially aware of your presence, it's because she's drawn to you. Some men might take this for granted, assuming that women will always be obvious with their interest. But the truth is, women rarely make direct moves in public settings. They drop hints, create opportunities, and wait to see if you have the awareness to pick up on them. And the ones who don't? They end up missing out on genuine attraction simply because they weren't paying attention. This is why it's important to carry yourself with confidence and awareness. If women are following you around, it means they see something in you that makes them want to stay close. They may not always know why. It could be your looks, your presence, the way you carry yourself, but they feel it. And instead of chasing, they position themselves in a way that allows you to take the lead. A Stoic man doesn't become arrogant when he notices this. He doesn't let his ego inflate just because women are drawn to him. He understands that attraction is fluid. It's about more than just looks. It's about energy. If you carry yourself with presence, women will naturally find ways to be near you. Your only job is to recognize it, respond accordingly, and move with quiet confidence. So the next time you're out, take note of the women who keep orbiting around you. Don't assume it's random. Don't brush it off as coincidence. If they keep showing up in your space, they're not just following the crowd, they're following you. Chapter 5. You are sexually busy. If you're frequently receiving attention from women, whether through flirty messages, unexpected invitations, or consistent late-night calls, it's not a coincidence. Women don't invest their time and energy in men without a reason. If you find yourself in situations where women are initiating contact, testing the waters, or even making direct advances, it's because they see you as desirable. Attractive men experience this kind of attention more often than they realize. It might come in subtle ways, women lingering in conversations, finding excuses to text, or conveniently showing up at places where you happen to be. Or it might be more direct, random women approaching you at bars, exes trying to reconnect, or even friends suddenly flirting when they never used to before. Women are drawn to what stands out, and if you naturally command attention, they'll find ways to place themselves in your orbit. But here's where most men get it wrong. They assume this attention is purely based on their looks. While being physically attractive does create more opportunities, it's not the deciding factor in long-term attraction. Plenty of good-looking men remain unnoticed because they lack presence, while others, who may not be conventionally handsome, have an undeniable pull simply because of how they carry themselves. A Stoic man understands this dynamic. He doesn't let physical desirability make him complacent. He recognizes that attraction isn't just about appearance, it's about energy, self-assurance, and the way a man holds himself in any situation. Women are attracted to men who exude control, confidence, and purpose. If you're merely relying on looks, you may capture attention, but you won't keep it. One powerful indicator of attractiveness is when women compete for your attention. If you've ever noticed women trying to outshine each other in your presence, whether by being louder, dressing up more, or even subtly throwing shade at other women, you're witnessing social competition at play. Women aren't drawn to just any man, they're drawn to men who are in demand. If others desire you, it reinforces your value. This is why high-status men, whether in wealth, influence, or pure social energy, tend to have more options. But here's the catch: the moment a man starts chasing, that dynamic reverses. If you become too available, too eager to engage, or too reliant on validation from women, that initial attraction fades. A Stoic man understands restraint. He doesn't rush into every opportunity, nor does he let temporary attention inflate his ego. He stays grounded, knowing that true attraction isn't about quantity, it's about quality. Another telltale sign that women find you attractive is when they start initiating physical touch. Whether it's a light hand on your shoulder, playful nudges, or finding excuses to be close to you, these small gestures signal comfort and attraction. Women aren't naturally touchy with men they don't find appealing. If you notice women consistently breaking the personal space barrier around you, it's a strong indicator that they're drawn to you. Attractive men also experience another unique social phenomenon: jealousy from other men. If you've ever walked into a room and felt an unspoken tension from other guys, it's likely because they see you as competition. Some men will try to befriend you, hoping to absorb some of your social magnetism. Others will act dismissive, cold, or even hostile. They might exclude you from conversations, undermine your presence, or give backhanded compliments in an attempt to lower your perceived value. This is why self-awareness is crucial. A man who isn't aware of his own attractiveness might overlook these signals. He might assume women are just being friendly or that their attention is coincidental. But a Stoic man reads between the lines. He observes patterns, understands social dynamics, and recognizes when women are drawn to him, not out of politeness, but out of genuine attraction. The real test of a high-value man isn't whether he can attract attention, it's how he handles it. Many men, upon realizing their desirability, become reckless. They chase short-term validation, indulge in meaningless encounters, or let their ego dictate their actions. A Stoic man does the opposite. He remains in control. He understands that while looks might open doors, it's his character, ambition, and presence that determine whether a woman stays intrigued. Attraction isn't just about what's on the surface. It's about how you move through the world, how you respond to attention, and whether you let external validation define you. A man who understands this doesn't just experience fleeting moments of attraction. Chapter 6. Girls show off in front of you. Women don't try to impress just any man. If a girl suddenly starts talking louder when you're near, laughs more enthusiastically than usual, or drops casual mentions of her achievements, she's putting on a performance, one designed specifically for you. This behavior isn't random, it's instinctual. When a woman finds a man attractive, she wants to stand out. She wants to be noticed, to be seen as someone of high value. And whether she realizes it or not, her actions betray her desire for your attention. This is an ancient behavioral pattern, deeply rooted in human psychology. Throughout history, women have signaled their value to high-status, desirable men. In the past, this meant showcasing fertility, grace, and social standing in tribal or royal settings. Today, those same instincts manifest in different ways. A woman might casually mention her career success, highlight her intelligence, or make sure you overhear stories that paint her in an impressive light. She may dress more attractively, adjust her posture when she knows you're watching, or playfully challenge you in conversation to showcase her wit. Another powerful indicator? She subtly highlights her physical features. She might adjust her outfit in front of you, flip her hair more often, or strike a pose that emphasizes her body. If she suddenly becomes more expressive and animated in your presence, that's a strong sign that she sees you as someone worth impressing. It's not just about looks, it's about status, validation, and the subconscious need to earn the attention of a desirable man. Women are naturally competitive, especially when it comes to attraction. If she senses that other women are also interested in you, she'll step up her game. She may try to outshine them, either through humor, intelligence, or sheer presence. You might notice her suddenly bringing up exciting aspects of her life, travel, accomplishments, or experiences designed to make you see her as special. She wants to be the one who stands out in your eyes. She might also emphasize her nurturing qualities, subtly hinting that she would make an exceptional partner by displaying warmth, empathy, or even protective instincts. But here's where most men go wrong. They mistake this for casual conversation rather than a deliberate attempt to capture attention. A weak man might get overly excited and start feeding into her performance, showering her with validation or trying to outdo her stories. A Stoic man, however, remains grounded. He observes her actions without reacting emotionally. He doesn't let flattery cloud his judgment, nor does he feel the need to match her energy. Instead, he maintains his calm, collected presence, allowing her to continue vying for his attention. A woman who truly values a man's opinion will keep escalating her efforts if she feels he's not easily won over. She might start seeking his approval in more direct ways, asking for his thoughts on her career, her outfit, or her ambitions. She wants to know that she impresses him, not just any man, but specifically him. This is where a Stoic man's power lies. He doesn't hand out validation cheaply. Instead, he rewards authenticity. If a woman is genuinely impressive, he acknowledges it in a measured way, but he never overindulges in empty compliments. Attraction is about tension. When a woman is working to impress you, it means she sees you as someone worth impressing. But the moment you start chasing, trying too hard to return the favor, or seeking her approval in return, the dynamic shifts. A high-value man understands this balance. He lets her effort speak for itself. He remains confident, knowing that if a woman is showing off in front of him, it's because, deep down, she wants to be seen as worthy of his attention. A woman who is deeply interested may also seek opportunities to be useful to you, whether by offering advice, helping with something small, or engaging in acts of service that subtly communicate care and investment. She might even find ways to introduce you to her social circle, subtly positioning you as someone valuable in her world. These are not random acts, they are calculated steps meant to deepen the connection. A Stoic man, aware of this, acknowledges these efforts, but never becomes overly reliant on them. He remains centered, letting the attraction unfold naturally, knowing that the right woman will continue to seek ways to prove her worth in his life. Chapter 7. Girls leaning closer when talking to you. Physical proximity is one of the strongest and most reliable indicators of attraction. When a woman finds a man good-looking, she will instinctively seek to be closer to him. This isn't something she consciously plans, it happens naturally. She'll lean in when she talks, shift her body in your direction, and make sure there's little to no distance between you when given the opportunity. If you're standing in a group, she'll subtly inch her way toward you. If you're sitting next to each other, she might adjust her posture to face you directly. This behavior isn't accidental. Women are highly aware of body language, both their own and others. They understand space, touch, and positioning better than most men. When a woman closes the gap between you, she's not doing it for just anyone. It's a subconscious pull, her body reacting to her attraction before her mind even fully registers it. The stronger her interest, the more pronounced her proximity. Leaning in when talking is a major clue, but it's not the only one. Watch how she behaves when you move slightly away. Does she unconsciously step closer again? If you change your stance, does she mirror your posture? These are all subconscious signals that she feels drawn to you. Even when a woman is playing it cool, her physical reactions will betray her true feelings. You might also notice that she finds small excuses to touch you, a playful tap on the arm, brushing lint off your shirt, or adjusting something on your collar. These are subtle ways of breaking the physical barrier. Most women don't do this unless they feel safe and attracted to a man. It's an unconscious test. She's seeing how you react, if you're comfortable with her presence, and if you reciprocate the warmth. In social situations, a woman who is attracted to you will naturally gravitate toward your space. She might position herself next to you at a table, linger a little longer in a doorway if you're walking together, or find ways to maintain a physical presence in your proximity. Even in conversations with others, her body will be angled in your direction, signaling that her attention is ultimately centered on you. This isn't just about being friendly, it's a deep, subconscious instinct to be close to someone she desires. Another sign to look for is how she reacts when distractions arise. If she's engaged in conversation with you, but momentarily interrupted by someone else, does she return her focus to you quickly? Does she pick up where she left off as if she doesn't want to lose the connection? A woman who prioritizes staying in your space, despite external distractions, is showing clear signs of interest. She values the interaction and is making an effort to maintain that unspoken bond. A woman who doesn't feel attraction will maintain a noticeable distance, even if she enjoys talking to you. She may keep her arms crossed, angle her body slightly away, or avoid making any unnecessary physical contact. Distance is a form of disinterest. But when a woman is genuinely into you, she won't be able to help herself. She will find a way to be near you, even in a crowded room. A Stoic man reads these signs without seeking constant validation. He doesn't react with surprise or overanalyze why women gravitate toward him, he simply acknowledges it as reality. He understands that attraction is expressed through actions, not just words. When a woman leans in closer, he doesn't flinch or retreat. He stands firm, maintaining his grounded presence. A man who lacks confidence might step back, feeling overwhelmed or unsure of how to handle the attention. A Stoic man, however, remains centered. He doesn't chase or force interactions, he lets them unfold naturally. He recognizes that when a woman is interested, she will show it. And when she does, he accepts it with quiet confidence, knowing that attraction is not something to be questioned, but something to be understood. This level of self-assurance makes a man even more attractive. Women are drawn to men who don't seek approval, who don't second-guess themselves, and who remain composed regardless of external circumstances. By maintaining his presence and confidence, a Stoic man allows attraction to flow naturally, deepening the connection without unnecessary effort. He doesn't overthink, he simply observes, understands, and allows things to unfold in their own time. Most men go through life unaware of their own attractiveness. They miss the signals, overlook the patterns, and assume that if women don't say they're handsome, it must not be true. But attraction isn't about words, it's about behavior. Women reveal their interest through subtle cues, and a man who understands this never doubts himself. A Stoic man doesn't need to be told he's good-looking, he recognizes it in the way the world reacts to him. If these signs resonate with you, chances are women already see you as highly attractive. The only question left is, will you start acting like it? If you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, and share your experiences in the comments. The truth about your attractiveness might surprise you.